This is Canarsie, Rockaway Parkway. The next stop on this booklet-bound podcast is Last Stop on the L.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
You never see me with no gun in me and I'm innocent and you got to believe. Them a try pull tricks and care me innocent and me never kill Steve. I never me alone a bunk spot fay. I'm innocent and now me make she breathe. Does the jury have a verdict? You're guilty. And that make me grieve. It wasn't me. You saw it on the TV. It wasn't me. In the liquor store robbery. It wasn't me. You never hear Bill Cosby. It wasn't me. Yo, I'm in a high-speed chase and I got no time to waste. Say yo, the cops on my tail and now they searching my place. Say yo, they looking for me like I'm damn OJ. But yo, I drank orange juice earlier on that day. I know the best one I go play. Hey yo, the best one I lay. Hey yo, the best one I go make them mix him up in a ray. After they come from a baby, you say me did part of favor. People don't believe in everything this make them a say. You never see me with no gun in me and I'm innocent and you got to believe. Them a try pull tricks and care me innocent. So me never kill Steve. I never me alone a bunk spot fay. I'm innocent, I know me make she breathe. Does the jury have a verdict? You're guilty. And that make me grieve.
Listen, it's about to be missing. You know who's gonna find you?
Us in the kitchen?
Wow. Okay, I like to hold this L. Oh my God!
I didn't know. I wasn't ready. I didn't know.
What was the correct line for this? 500?
Listen, you're about to be missing. You know who's going to find you? Some old man fishing. Your grandma wishing.
Oh!
Wow!
You old.
This is how we treat our legends out here, millennials. You see how they be getting down?
You old.
I just want to say for the fact that Danny Ocean didn't believe in Southern music when he first came out. That's my shots at you. Thank you, sir.
I don't know. I talk about Southern music. That's DMX from
DMX,
Yonkers,
yeah,
Rough Riders, Ride or Die. I know he bring up the
Millennials.
South.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's your boy Danny Ocean, DWNYOCIO, and welcome back to the Last Stop on the L podcast. I feel we have to do a countdown clock on this podcast from now on because we don't know when the First Amendment's about to go away.
Seriously.
So we're going to talk reckless until they take the mics away, or us away, or both.
Love you, Mom.
On this age here, I have so many things to say, and I don't know how to say them. I might not speak that much. Who the fuck am I kidding? I'm going to talk too much. Too much. I'm going to say a lot of things.
It's your boy Mayhem Mike. I'm currently wondering if we need to get an angry translator for Vonna Sage.
I translate my anger very well, thank you.
By not speaking so much? All right, this was great. I'm glad we had this talk. So anyway, YFR Mayhem at Twitter. You know what? Hit us up on our Last Stop on the L Instagram page. We want to see what you guys think, definitely. All that good stuff. Throw that in there. Pachoo, pachoo. And also Twitter, Last Stop on the L at pachoo, pachoo.
Check out our logo. We actually got our logo out finally. It looks fabulous. Ah.
She's only saying that because she looks nice in it.
Listen,
Okay. So
looks like me too.
we have to start. We're going to start this week's podcast episode. We have to start it on a note because listen, we try to have fun on this podcast.
I know,
But this week is like, who does this?
But before we get into the serious stuff, I just want to point out again. Shout out to Bruckner in the Bronx, my son at the McDonald's out here moving units and Big Macs.
Yo, that shit.
Holding down the BX borough so thoroughly. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
I read this story. I could not believe it. That man sold undercover detective over the span of a month and a half, $10,000 worth of cocaine. Let me repeat that number for you again. $10,000 worth of cocaine.
And what time span again? How long was it?
A
month and a half?
First and foremost, brother, somebody must have been if I'm at the McDonald's regularly, I'm like, yo, that dude really loves Big Macs. He in there every day.
Getting all the high blood pressure. All the heart disease. He's like, you ain't making good life decisions based on your eating, bro. What's going
this
on?
reminded me of a ratchet ass story the rapper Crooked Eye told.
Yeah,
because he told his he knew people that engaged in the same activity
Oh.
as that McDonald's manager, but he didn't know they were doing that. So when he was a kid, he thought Subway sandwiches were really expensive they cost like $30. And he's like, $5? No, they thought it cost like 30. He's like, no, then how come he always pay you 30 when he, shut up, kid.
Gotta be mindful of the kids around you sometimes.
Oh my God, my son got locked up and everyone's like so surprised. I'm like, y'all ain't see, listen, there's no way you selling that much and not showing off a little bit.
Seriously.
Because they said they found $5,000 in cash in his house.
Good grief.
Some guns and a couple grams. I'm like, oh, bruh. Oh, bruh.
Yeah, he can't even At least, they couldn't find the cash. You could have said, he was...
Juice just said, at least if they didn't find the cash, he would have been sniffing. He could have said he was an addict. But
when you find the profit and the product, things gotta add up.
We're gonna also add these guns.
So anyway, that brother's gonna be going for a while. So yeah. Hope he enjoyed his time. And from that, not as lighthearted note, to something serious that actually happened in the Bronx this week. Not this week. 2 weeks ago. With the incident with the young man getting killed in school. It was the first time in 20 plus years that someone is... for the record, for you out-of-towners that left New York when it was like the rough and tumble New York in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. I know y'all don't believe it, but New York isn't actually that dangerous anymore.
No.
There are still dangerous parts, but this isn't like the 80s where they would rob the entire train.
Or the 70s, like the Warriors shit. Yeah. And there's just different gangs just sticking around.
So this young man getting killed in school is an aberration. It's something that doesn't happen. Yeah. Me and Mayhem went to a pretty rough school.
Number 2 worst school in Brooklyn.
No, we got number 1.
Oh, we're number 1.
We got number 1. Let me take away our time.
Let me take away our time.
Let me take away our time.
We proud of that.
We worked for that. Okay.
You're right.
But this is not something that happens very often, and it was so shocking and saddening. Like someone I know someone through another person that was connected to the tragedy, and they were saying that like
he knew all 3 of the kids.
Yeah, that he knew. Yeah, that the person knew all 3 of the kids
involved.
Wow. So it was just more of like, it makes it that more real for me, and to think about that all of this happened because of alleged bullying.
Yep,
makes it sad because now you have a scenario where there's absolutely no winners in this scenario. You have one young man who's lost his life.
Another one who forfeited his life.
You have a bunch of kids who've witnessed a very traumatic event, and for the rest of their lives will have to take the image of one of their classmates getting killed before their eyes.
And then you have the younger kids in there that had to be like, they were in shock and terror because of the whole trying to get people out. When the kids weren't being released unless the parent came.
Yeah.
So, and then, parents already don't like to leave work unnecessarily. So to make a parent leave is like, what the hell? And then you endangering their baby? You know how many upset minority women were cursing the fuck out of the newscasters? It's some bullshit. I was like, oh shit, why they ask her? They're about to get the nitty gritty. So it was just a really...
I know when events like this happen, it's kind of like a rush to judgment and a rush to blame. I want to say something that was, for some reason, very highlighted after this incident happened. The first thing everyone said is, why didn't this school have metal detectors?
Oh my god.
Listen, I'm someone that went to a New York City public school.
With metal detectors.
And
we still got frisked.
Niggas still was doing shit.
And we still got frisked. Go ahead.
We didn't have just the metal detectors. Remember, our dean of security would brag about this. We had the same quality of metal detectors that they had at the airport.
Yep.
And their settings,
yes, we did.
And their settings were so high, the foil in your gum wrapper would set them off.
Oh shit!
Which is why
that make me feel safer? No. Had no effect on my safety.
Mind you,
I just thought I wouldn't get stabbed.
You stepped through the metal detector.
About that in the first place.
You stepped through the metal detector. They still warned you.
They still warned you
and frisked you.
Yeah. People, they're like, take off your medal. I gave up. I was just like, just frisk me. I'm not going to waste time emptying out my pockets.
Right.
Just warn me. I'm not going to waste this. Anyway.
But what an interesting thing to teach teenagers. But go ahead.
My point about that is this. This is very simple. You shouldn't normalize a prison-like environment for students.
Mm-hmm. No.
This isn't me saying some hippy-dippy shit. This is me being very serious. As someone who went to a high school that had prison-like security, right? Mm-hmm. Do you understand how normalized it was for me to interact with police, that when I would tell these stories when I went to my suburban-ass college to my peers, the look on their face told me all I need to know about how not the norm this was.
Yep.
Right? But for some reason, everyone accepts that because of where these neighborhoods are, that's the norm. Here's the thing about metal detectors. Number one, not every school needs metal detectors.
Agreed.
I've been to schools that have had active gangs and didn't have metal detectors and never had highly violent incidents. So when I say highly violent, no one ever pulled out a weapon, no one ever got sent to a hospital, because every school environment is different. There are going to be some schools where I can't lie, metal detectors will probably be needed, but just FYI, if the metal detector is needed, I truly doubt it's going to lower the incident rate. Right. It's going to lower the type of incident rate, but it won't lower the actual incident rate. Not doing anything to address the violence in the school.
Right.
And number two, when we're talking about this bullying thing, everyone always says that we need to solve bullying. I know a lot of people that work in education, and on behalf of them, I have one simple question for you. Where are the anti-bullying strategies to address these issues? Because it's very easy to do the kumbaya thing about bullying. Because what everyone does when it comes to bullying, when everyone comes to bullying, they say like, we should teach kids to be respectful. We should teach. That's very important, right? But bullying at its core, it's power dynamics. What are the strategies to teach, to give teachers and administrators to change power dynamics? Because at the end of the day,
they don't have the power to do jack diddly.
Yeah, because I'll give you an example, right? If a kid's getting bullied,
right?
If a kid's getting bullied, here's what the steps that are usually taken. The kid tells his parents, right? Who here in this room thinks that parents coming to the school to confront his bullies helps that kid not get bullied?
No.
That's literally never worked. That never works.
Which is why they tell us,
and especially if
you're getting bullied, fight back.
So who thinks that then the teacher is always intervening on behalf of that kid helps that kid who's getting bullied?
First of all, that's just as bad. It makes you a prime target. And let's be real, teachers don't want to get involved. Not a lot of them, but most of them.
Teachers can't get involved because if it gets into a physical altercation, they are legally not allowed to get involved. The minute a kid does anything remotely violent, a teacher does not have the legal backing from the Department of Education to fucking get involved. So how are you going to put a person of power but not give them the proper power and the backing to diffuse a situation? It fucking defeats the purpose of having a teacher. They're just a fucking person there to like try to control the classroom and try to teach something. Because if a classroom is rowdy enough, the day's gone to shit. It's like, what is the point of that?
Right. Let's take the last approach, because there's some schools that do zero tolerance policies, right? So the people that are doing the bully get expelled. Does that help the person being bullied? Some people are like, yeah, you remove the people that bully them.
No.
So their friends.
So now you're disenfranchising one kid, but then the friends are going to be pissed, and then it starts off. It's fuck it. You're going to kick him out. You have to kick me out too. And yada.
So when I hear these conversations about bullying, I'm like, all of these conversations don't get down to the core of what it is. Yes, these are kids, but this is also group dynamics. No one is giving anyone sort of education on how to alter group dynamics, because if you're not altering that at all you're really doing is putting a band-aid on like a gushing wound. Like,
and then you're not even going into the different types of bullying.
Yeah.
And then the fact that gender plays a big part, because girls are bigger bullies than boys, depending on what type of bullying you're talking about.
Yeah.
Girls can be fucking ruthless when it comes to bullying.
Oh, yeah, y'all are the masters of that psychological shit. I once saw a girl get everyone in the entire school not to speak to another girl. I said, I ain't never seen no shit like that in my entire life.
What?
Yeah, this girl it was a very small school, got every single girl in that school to not talk to this one girl she didn't like, right? So that by default, if no other girl is talking to you, who do you talk to?
The boys.
The boys. Which pissed her off even more, because it's like, oh, so now you're going to hang with the boys?
Like, bitch, you just told me I can't talk to another girl!
I remember this because I was a kid when this happened. So this is the moment where like girl bullying and boy bullying collided, and it was weird. So like the girl bully is like, it's just like a social isolation. So the young ladies hanging out with the boys, we're like, whatever, we don't care.
Right.
And then her bully comes over to have a conversation with us. To let us know that we are fucking up. Like, what are you doing talking to her? Didn't you know you're not supposed to be speaking to her? So it's like a moment of which, like, a group of young boys look around. Who the fuck is she talking?
Exactly.
Who are you talking to?
Right.
And it's just like a moment of just like, but in that moment, we realized like how deep it was, and that was the first time even though as a kid going like, yo, y'all bullying is different. I'd rather somebody just hit me and call me a name and move on than this whole concentrated shit, because the hitting is still bad, by the way. It's still bad. Ninjas. But like, at least the hitting, I can respond. How do I respond to this? No one's talking to me. Listen, like, fuck all y'all. Y'all gonna walk away as I'm speaking?
As crazy as the shit as I talk, I'm pretty much a pacifist. I have, knock on wood, have not gotten to a fight at all.
She's attacked me. I call out loud. She's attacked me on the show.
I said I never fought. I didn't say I never punched the fucking.
Hold on. Time out. Not one time.
I've gotten in fights with family members more than I've gotten fights with family members.
Can we count that?
Never.
That's technically a fight.
No. That's a fight. But no, I don't count that. I don't count that.
How does it not count?
Because it's not like you pulling punches with your family members.
You're trying to hit him in the chest.
Say with your chest.
So,
my kid.
But outside of that, I've never gotten to a physical altercation with anyone outside of like my family.
I cannot say that.
Well, that's what
I cannot say that either.
But I'm saying that.
We need another female.
But no, I'm not supposed to. I know that's not the norm. I'm very aware of that. But I'm saying that all to say, like, it's not like there hasn't been times where I have felt compelled to, but it's just, it hasn't happened. And I'm grateful for that. But my boyfriend always says, I'm concerned for when someone actually tries to pop off on you, because I might hulk out. Because I have a lot of pent up aggression that I have a like, I either might really hurt myself more than I hurt them, or really just like concerned. Yeah. I'm concerned.
Don't be hitting for somebody for something they do. Like, you just hulk out on them.
No,
you're hitting them for some shit they do. You ain't even fill out your time sheet. I don't work for you.
First of all,
and I know it was you that left the seat up.
Baby, she ain't do that. She ain't do that. Stop.
Hold on. To any sponsorships listening, if you are a Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, please sponsor us. We need to roll her in a class ASAP.
Anyway, I say that all to say, like, I've been bullied, and I just remember blacking on a girl. It took me like 2-3 years to like really, and that's a long time, but I was in middle school. Blacked on her, and I felt better afterwards, and she ain't talked to me, I ain't talked to her after that. So I've never had to. But boys are different. Boys just begin to like,
Can I just say, in this one instance, for real,
wasn't your fault?
No. Generally, it's never really the other person's fault. Generally, let me say that. But it wasn't my fault. I was in 4th grade.
4th grade?
I was a bully in 4th grade. I don't know if I can say his name. So I'm going to say his name was Jay. No, screw it. I'll say his name is James, because you don't know his last name. So James and I went to 4th grade school. I'm not going to say the school or the teacher, but she was Southern. Okay. So she ain't play no mess.
Right.
So what was we used to play the MCATs, the testing or whatever, that big white book with the CATs that we had to do math.
4th grade exams. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So we were doing that, and I love to read, so I got 100, like literally got 100 on my practice exam, and the math I got like a 90. So he was sitting next to me, he wanted a copy, and I'm like, you trying to get me in trouble.
Right.
My Southern teacher, whose name I want to say, she don't play that. This has been an ongoing feud back and forth. She kicked us both out the class. She was like, I don't care, kicked us both out the class. So now I'm in front of the door like, holy crap.
You tight.
I'm in front of this guy named James, who should be in another grade ahead, whatever.
No.
And then I'm trying to walk left, he's walking left, trying to walk right, he's walking. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop following me. He's like, I'm waiting till the teacher leaves, and then I'm going to meet you up, whatever. So then all of a sudden, of course, he pushed me. I had to get him a couple of jabs. We by the door swinging. Like, I remember my teacher grabbed me, and I'm swinging for like the skies on him, because I'm hitting him. And then she said, and then after that, he left me alone. You know what I'm saying? Because then I realized I had to stand up for myself. You know what I'm saying? For bully. And as the years progress, it's funny that, we make fun of it. But when it comes to bullies, they tell you to tell somebody. Unfortunately, that's not necessarily going to help you. You tell your parents, it makes you look weak. You tell your teacher, it makes you look weak. You tell the officer, if you have officers, principals, it makes you look weak.
I can't even repeat my survival strategy. I just learned who to associate with.
That is, it's not for, like, you either remove yourself and, like, it's hard because depending on the age that you're getting bullied, like, I've really, one of my biggest, not a fear, but it's a concern of mine, like, if I have a son, it's like, And if they're getting bullied, how am I going to address that? Because
I'm going to jail.
Right, and it's like,
I'm going to jail.
And I'm praying I have the parent, and this, what pisses me off, the
I'll
parents of the bullies are never fucking reasonable.
Oh.
Never.
And they don't believe their child is a bully.
No, here's the thing, though, because oftentimes, like, bullying behavior is learned.
It's at home.
So, like, and if your parents are bullies and they're acting like them, what are they doing wrong? Mm-hmm. If that's the way daddy or mommy acts, what am I doing wrong?
Exactly. And I think a big part of the whole issue of the bullying is because there's not enough time being spent with kids. In this country, yeah, everything is good. You can make money. There's plenty of opportunities. But the cost of living on a national scale is so fucked that it keeps parents away from their kids. And if you had a stronger parental foundation, you have less fucking bullies. So, Trump, 45, if you stop fucking being a dickhead and get your ass out of fucking Russia, you would fucking pay attention enough. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Go ahead. Oh my God.
I don't give a fuck. Like, there's just so many other problems to be dealt with, and a lot of this shit happens because there's lack of attention at home, and it's not completely the parents' fault. It's partly the government's fault because we don't get enough fucking support when we're trying to bust our ass out there.
So I wanted to add on just really quickly because you brought up some great points, Ocean. That when it comes to the story, obviously we're talking about Abel Sedano, excuse me, who's 18 years of age, who was being bullied
by kids younger than him, by the way.
Right, by kids younger. Yes,
Matthew
McCree was 15, and his friend was 16, whose name I don't know right now. So I want to go over everything. First of all, you can't blame the school, like you said, because they didn't have metal detectors. They haven't had an incident since 1993.
Seriously.
Yeah, for the whole city.
Right.
Yeah, the whole city. We have not had a fatal incident in any public schools in the entire state since 1993.
Okay. So, that's out of question. What I will say you need to blame the school and get in that butt for is the fact that Abel actually went and talked to faculty members for help for being bullied. So here's the thing. The school, the principal, if I'm not mistaken, said that they're not able to, he or she copped out and said they're not able to comment because they're under investigation. AKA, there was faculty members that were talked to that didn't respond. AKA, they're in trouble. They're up Schitt's Creek. So then there's that. I'm not justifying what Abel did at all. You shouldn't be a parent outliving your child in any sort of sense. Yeah. But you know what? At the same time, you got to understand where he's coming from. I know we shot the root for the underdog. He was being bullied for more than just 3 weeks. This is like rolled over to a year. He hung out with his peers that were like him, but unfortunately they graduated. Right. So for 3 weeks, he was being bullied. At the end of the first week, the second week he ordered the knife from Amazon. Yeah. And at the end of the second week, he lashed out and attacked these 2 kids, Matthew and his friend. His mom, earlier this week, if I'm not mistaken, it's last week actually, went on TV and was like, "My child is not a bully." Unfortunately, Mom, I'm sorry, I don't believe you because a lot of bullies' moms don't know what's going on.
I think a lot of Abel's friends actually confirmed that those kids actually were some of the bullies.
Right.
NYPD is disputing that, just for the record. But
I'm going to get to
friends have said that those kids were bullies.
I remember that because they were interviewing them as soon as the incident was happening. They were like, "No, we remember seeing them harassing him."
How about this? Because I read some articles repeatedly because I got into an argument over this over the week. So number one, how about the fact that one of his closest family members remember him telling about who the people that bully him, and the police were like, we weren't able to find the interaction. The latest, if I'm not mistaken, Daily News article actually tells on how they were how those kids just started bothering him in that class. I want you to understand how this doesn't make sense to me. If, for instance, they had no tie, as T.I. would say, if they had no tie from before, they had no part, why would this kid just lash out only at these two? Only at these two, right. At the end of 2 weeks. Exactly. He's had the knife for 2 weeks. And at the end of 2 weeks, he decides to, just these two. Nobody else. You didn't go crazy and slash everybody else. Just these 2 people. And then all of a sudden, they were throwing stuff at him in class. He went to the bathroom. He came back. And they were saying stuff. And then he must have responded with a negative insult. The kid, Matthew, came up and said, "What you say to me?" Punched him in the face. And that's why he got stabbed. And unfortunately lost his life. But understand, Abel bought this knife to protect himself, as he stated, but he didn't plan on killing anybody. So unfortunately, like you said, Ocean, there's no win situation over here. But this shows how New York City schools, particularly, because I can't speak for anything for anybody else, how we're not well equipped to deal with bullying.
Well, we
that's what I was
honestly,
saying. We need strategies. That's what I'm saying. Like,
definitely,
not for nothing. We haven't been well equipped in this country. I want to say even in this world, because this is not just this is not just a U.S. problem. This happens in other cultures and other countries on different levels in different ways. You guys remember the movie Bowling for Columbine?
Yeah.
And that was one of the most major mass shootings in a school, like, ever. In a school? Like, the last one was, like, with Kent University in, like, the 60s. And that was with the freaking National Guard. Like, and I don't even remember if they were getting bullied or not. I don't think they were. They were just social. They were, like, social.
But
They were, but it was, like, they took it to the next level, not excusing their actions. Their actions.
Documentary called Bully. That's actually a lot more.
Yes, no, that one
that's
is
actually a lot
crazy.
More. That's another. You ever seen the documentary Bully?
Going to.
This is
documentary Bully, where it just follows these, like, 4 kids around, and it just kind of shows you how their day is, and like, mind you, there's a camera crew following these kids around. The kids do not care. A kid is getting punched every day on the bus on his way to school, pushed into lockers, pushed downstairs, slapped in the head, insulted in front of teachers, berated. Every single day that they're in school, some of these kids were getting bullied by their teachers.
Yep.
By their teachers.
Explain how that bullying.
Oh, let me tell you something.
One girl was an out lesbian, right? And their teacher told her she was going to hell. All the kids refused to sit next to her in class and move their desks to the other side of the room. Someone in her town tried to run her over in the street when she was walking home one day. People will assault her in the hallway when she's just walking to class. And then people is like, how when these violent incidents happen, like, how do we get to that? How do we get? You watch how we got here. You just didn't think it was a big deal.
Exactly. Like, because, I think what makes me upset and one of the reasons why I have actually tried to avoid getting into situations like that, it's like, it's not worth it to put myself in a situation to fight. Unless I have to be in serious danger for me to have to fucking knuckle up. And I try to avoid those situations like the fucking plague. But I've seen a lot of kids go through situations like that, and guess what I do? I fucking say something.
Oh, that's another thing too.
And a lot of people, we've been taught to mind our own fucking business. The guidance counselor can't do jack shit.
Let me tell you something.
Like sometimes intervention programs do work. I have to say, I've seen it too. I have seen peer intervention programs work. But in those cases, I don't know necessarily if that's them intervening on bullying or more of, like, gang and clique friction. Because there's a difference between bullying and gang and clique friction. Like, bullying is like, you're just a victim. Gang clique friction means, like, you mess with one, you mess with 30 people. And then this goes bigger than it needs to be. Right.
It's a volatile situation that you're trying to diffuse. But that's definitely, like, I really, like, people need to understand, like, it doesn't take much energy to just speak up if you see something going wrong. And I think that's why I probably avoided fights. Because I was always the person just being like, you know what? That's wrong. Don't do that. And then I come to not the rescue, but I'll come to the person's defense, like, don't do that. But this story just made me sad, man. It's just so many lives thrown away for nothing. And I really wish that it never had gotten to this point. But now that it has gotten to this point, I really hope that schools that have situations like this where they think they can't happen to them. Listen, this is what happened to this young man in the Bronx, and the end result of violence and loss of life. Yeah, that's not something that's rare at this point in this country, right? No. That's really not at this point in this country. Yeah. So if you think this can't happen to you at this point, you are obviously part of the problem. Like, seriously, we need to do more to address it. Sorry.
So also, I just want to say that the police also are ineffective in this one case, because like everybody else who went to school, if the police came to your school, unless they had you on camera and supposed eyewitness that were right then and there, you didn't know nothing. Which is what's going on right here, because they're not actually based on any factual evidence that they have. Because if they were, then it would make sense, and none of this stuff makes sense. So obviously, if you see somebody being bullied, I would like to say, me personally, try to stop it if you can. Definitely.
Seriously.
Speaking of some shit not making sense,
oh boy,
fucking Las Vegas.
Yo.
Oh my! I know, folks. Like, listen, it's bad.
Sorry, it's real
We got to
heavy.
talk about it.
It's too heavy to not talk about. Like, yeah.
Okay, so I'll start with this one. So, are they calling him a terrorist yet?
No.
That's ironic because
no, it's not.
He's a lone wolf.
he's a lone wolf.
white man.
Because
He's
what was his
trouble.
name?
He's a white man. Some fucking Wonder Bread
Who
shit.
gives a
I don't
shit what
know.
his name is.
Okay.
Don't even say his name, Mike, because it's gonna give fucking more power.
No.
to his ass.
So what I want to say is, y'all remember what happened in Dallas? Mike Johnson, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
when he shot, was it 5 people, injured 9? What did they call him right off the bat?
Terrorist.
A Black Lives Matter terrorist. He wasn't a lone wolf.
FYI, this guy in Vegas also killed cops.
Oh,
But where's? Can I ask where the Blue Lives Matter crowd is? Because this man shot cops in that audience. Just FYI. But there's no accusation of terrorism.
No.
There's not even a label of mass murderer. He's just like some lone
no-
wolf, went off the hinge,
You're not
trouble. First of all, there's no history of psychological issues. Let's just get that bullshit out the way.
Millionaire be crazy. That never makes sense to me.
No,
That'd be
it's
crazy.
crazy.
We definitely can. We watching Kanye right now. Anyway. Nigga came out here looking like a golden lord. Yeah,
well, his hair reverted back, but he's just fat now.
But seriously though, there's no history of mental illness with this man. So let's get that bullshit out of the way. Number 2, they're like, oh, he's not motivated by political terror. I'm like,
What?
It doesn't mean that he needs. Listen, he shot into a crowd of people, killed 59, injured 500, 400?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Like some ridiculous number. And the only conversation we seem to be having about him is why his girlfriend was in the Philippines. This is the beautiful power of being
A white.
White.
Male.
white
male.
You shoot 60 people,
And
and the first thing they talk about is your girlfriend leaving the country. I'm like, she ain't kill nobody. He barricaded himself in a hotel room with
Well,
so
how
many
many
guns.
guns?
He
How
didn't
many
need
was
to
there?
reload.
Yep.
That's the part that no one saw. He didn't need to reload. He just picked up the next gun and kept shooting.
Because what you're not addressing is when you're a white male in America, you're automatic patriotic. There's no way you could be a terrorist. But Michael Johnson, who actually served, he's a terrorist. He actually
For the
served.
record, they're both terrorists. That's the point that we're trying to make. It's just this weird distinction is like when these violent acts get committed by particularly white men, all of a sudden they become individuals.
Yeah, instead of part of a fucking
Anybody
group.
else, whether you're black, you're Asian, you're
Hispanic.
Latino, you're Arab, it doesn't matter. The minute you commit a similar act, you're part of a larger cultural issue. There's something wrong with the culture of your people.
You probably got locked up for something that probably brought
Well,
this
wait.
on.
It was-
You were jaywalking.
It was the way you were raised, the
Yo.
who you were associated with. It's all this other shit. And then the best part is the picture that they used for him.
Oh yeah.
This man kills 60 people, and he gets a less intimidating picture than a kid that got shot on his way home with the bag of Skittles in Arizona.
Yep. Talk.
This
Preach.
this is
The
the
victimization of the bullshit.
And the beautiful part about this is when I read these stories and I see people of color in these comments defending this, you really understand the power of this narrative. That you could convince people that in this same scenario will be treated the same. That no, this is totally okay. This is how the world should work. This is how the world should be. That a guy shoots 60 people. No one talks about guns. We talk about his girlfriend and his gambling. Who gives a fuck about that stuff?
Did it make you mad when people try to be like, oh, well, let's talk about the people that passed and not focus? I'm like,
No.
But-
This isn't the time for politics.
No.
yo. So I was like, wait. So would you have? Did y'all really know? Because I distinctly remember when the Orlando shooting happened. Y'all damn near knew what color drawers the fucking wife won 3 days before. So, but you didn't want to focus on the people then because that wasn't part of your agenda because there's a whole bunch of LGBTQ community. But come to this and it's in fucking Vegas with a country musical festival and y'all want to, let's focus on the lives that lost. Let me tell you some bullshit.
Let's focus.
And it boggles me because it's like if the news and subsequently the powers that be that control the fucking news outlets were consistent with how they fucking report shit, we would not be having this discussion right now. It wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be a thing. But since it is a fucking clear distinction, as soon as you got a little bit more melanin than the next nigga, that you are clearly on some fuck nigga shit, this is the problem we're running into. Hey. Don't fucking try to sell me shit and tell me that it's fucking sweet. Please don't.
I just want to add, there's like this one guy who's on the newspaper. He said, walking or not, because he got shot in the leg, he's still going to stand up for his president. What has he done again? What has he done for the situation? What is he talking about doing for the situation? Nothing?
Yeah,
Crickets?
I heard nothing
Oh,
from him.
so I guess maybe we should talk about, I don't know, gun control?
No! What are you talking about? According to Bill O'Reilly, this is true. The Second Amendment protects the rights of loons, just like the Las Vegas shooter, to own guns. What in the are you serious?
There you go.
You are so in love with your gun that this is an exact quote. This is the price of freedom.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
When he tweeted that, I
the
was like,
price of free. Oh my god, yo!
and then the fact that, and if that doesn't change the minds of these ass backwards Bill O'Reilly fans, like the fact that a lot of people that were at that fucking country music festival that got shot at and subsequently some of them died, that was your thing. And do you see how coming to the defense that your leader is coming to you? He hasn't
done shit.
He hasn't done jack fucking diddly, but use the fact that, you know what, let me just make this statement. The fact that 45 uses Twitter as if he's making a federal, a national address pisses me off. Because whenever he wants to say some shit, he goes right to Twitter. How many addresses to the nation has he done since he's been in office? Maybe one or two? Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. And I will say this.
Spend my days avoiding listening to him.
No, I know, but I'm like, think about it. When something serious like this happens, your leader of the free nation is supposed to make a national address. He's done nothing. Obama, when the shit happened in Orlando, Obama made a national address. When the hurricane happened, even in Haiti, he made a national address. Like, you better have some couth about you, like this, and y'all over here rallying behind this Cheeto motherfucker.
He's not a leader.
No, he's not.
He's
but
just
this
a
is
dude
the thing
in the house at the moment. He's just a dude sitting in the chair.
Which is so ironic because we are going through so much as a country right now.
Yeah.
We're
rudderless a little bit, right?
I would love for Obama to come back. If we can make a law for Obama to come back for a third term,
I'm a veto that law because that same law could also make your boy staying here for life.
You're right.
So I'm gonna nix that right now.
They'll find a way. They'll find a loophole. You're right.
Yeah.
So, you know what bugged me? Oh, real quick. What bugged me out too? Like hours after it happened, fucking Al Qaeda claimed that was thick. So okay, now
them Negroes is thirsty.
But no, here's the thing.
They're mad thirsty at this point.
But see, here's the thing. Sometimes, whenever I get those, like the things like, Al Qaeda has taken responsibility.
That was Al Qaeda's ISIS.
Oh, thank you, ISIS is taking responsibility. I'm like, sometimes I can, okay, maybe this one I was like, if that ain't a motherfucking reach and a half, and I was like, okay, now
just FYI,
I need to know who owns that Twitter account because.
Oh yeah, some shit. No. Just FYI on the foreign policy front, they losing the war, so they just trying to take wins wherever they can. So they claiming a bunch of shit that they ain't really do. So all around the world, not just
that. Being said, is that going to be like counterproductive? Because think about all the shit that they throw on fucking ISIS, and that wasn't fucking ISIS. Because there's been some things that ISIS hasn't claimed.
There's some stuff they've claimed and some that hasn't. I'm like, ISIS is going to claim any and everything because as of this moment they're on the brink of collapse.
Well, that's good.
No, that's bad because people are going to use that bullshit reason to, do the fuckery of like stripping away your rights and waging wars against shit that's not really a threat to you any longer. But just be highly aware that ISIS is claiming a lot of shit that ain't got nothing to do with because they're losing territory and they want to keep their name out there. It's like when a rapper claims that he invented somebody's flow, but he ain't really do shit. That's exactly what's happening right now. Y'all taught that boy everything you know. Shut up.
Why you ain't blow up?
They're trying to stay relevant.
No pun intended. Nah, man. So like, this is obviously one of the worst things. Honestly, one of my things is what is NRA doing about nothing? You should have seen Danny Ocean's face just now.
Zip.
So I'm going to do a little quick explanation about the National Rifle Association because I think it's very important to understand Because when people think of the National Rifle Association, they think about it the wrong way. So what people think about when they think about the NRA, they think it's an association for gun owners. Mm-hmm. Yes, that is true.
White gun owners.
But no, there's black ones.
Yeah, but they are
Karl Malone is a very proud member of the NRA.
And if some shit happened with him, they would not come to his fucking defense.
No, they would. They love Karl Malone is a big gun nut. But
so he's a coon? Okay, thank you.
I didn't say that.
I was gonna say that though.
He's a coon.
I was gonna say that. I was waiting for you to finish.
You're a coon.
I didn't say that. Anyway,
you're a coon. I'll say that shit.
Okay, I'll just for the record. I say anyway.
Coon.
So when people think
Coonery. Coonism. Hashtag coon coon. Coony, coon. I go on all day. Go ahead. This is supposed to be
Ben Carson inviting us to his house ever.
Fuck that coon too.
Hello, Last Stop on the L listeners. We're going to take a brief moment to thank our sponsors. Stay tuned. We got to take a moment to shout out also the homie Juice Cannon.
Word.
For the big support. Hosting us in his beautiful recording studio as
231.
Always. If you have a fire mixtape or even if you don't have a fire mixtape, he does it all, mixing, recording, got the booth, come spit your flames,
Word. Drop
that album, blow up, cut us a check because, we sent you here. Studio 231 is located in the beautiful and trendy Lower East Side of Manhattan with affordable rates and a full studio setup. If you would like to record at Studio 231, you can reach Juice at www.juicecannon.com. That's www.juice-cannon.com or twitter.com/juicecannon. JUICECANNON.
Last Stop on the L is proudly sponsored by Dulce Amore Couture, premium couture accessory line, specializing in jewelry and watches featuring the handcrafted Amore collection. Based in New York City, but not limited to, you can meet Miss Yeezy Smith on Facebook /Dulce Amore Couture or Instagram Dulce Amore Couture or visit the website dulceamoreCouture.bigcartel.com.
My bad. Good.
So yes, it is a membership organization representing a lot of gun owners in the United States, right? But the members of the organization don't drive its policy. While they may agree with what it does, the NRA actually is more closely aligned with the interest of the actual gun industry.
Yeah.
So the way I think about it this way is, if you have an Xbox Live account and you join the club for Xbox users, right? Mm-hmm. You would think that club will represent your interest as an Xbox user. But what if that club was run by Microsoft? It's actually representing the interests of Microsoft. Right. And that's what the NRA is. It's representing the interests of Smith & Wesson and all those other gun manufacturers, because all the laws that they support tend to do what? Increase firearm sales.
Yeah. Right. One hand washes the other.
Exactly. So there's been polling done that shows NRA members aren't against a lot of the stuff the NRA is for. For example, the National Gun Registry, the majority of NRA members, if I'm not mistaken, actually support that. The NRA is vehemently opposed to that. But here's the hypocrisy of why I'm trying to explain to you that this organization doesn't represent its members. The NRA is militantly opposed to a National Gun Registry. A National Gun Registry would mean that the federal government will have the serial number of every single gun bought, sold, or owned in the United States. So in the instance that a crime is committed, you can just do a quick database search, who owned this gun, and start your investigation there. Boom. The NRA hates that ideal and has blocked that idea.
That keeps more guns off the fucking street.
Here's the beautiful part about that. The NRA is in charge of the largest national gun registry in the United States. It knows all the guns all of its millions of members own.
So you mean to tell me they'd have to give up information and shit like that?
No, my point being is, you're opposed to a national gun registry, but you have the largest gun registry. You see my point?
Yeah.
The inconsistency of opinion?
It's like cars. I can sell you my car. I can sell you my gun. Is that... So will I be responsible if somebody...
That's a very valid point. Go ahead, Juice, ask that question.
Yeah, guns are like cars. Like, if I sell my car to someone, am I responsible if... they kill someone with the gun.
You sell the title, right? Yeah. It's like you'll be selling the registry. Right. But that's the thing. If they own the most registered guns, then who is it tied to, the person or to the actual association?
No. So here's why a gun registry is a good idea. So let's take Chicago, because Republicans love to bring up Chicago. Like, y'all talking about gun control. Gun control don't work in Chicago. FYI, Chicago does have some of the strictest gun laws in the United States. People are like, but why is the gun rate so bad, right?
Illegal activity.
Because most of the guns are bought out of state in Indiana.
Duh. That's what people do. You go to
Indiana doesn't have strict gun laws. So here's what happens in Indiana. This is literally how guns get into New York as well.
Yep.
I go to Indiana. I buy guns without any sort of background check or whatever.
You go to Pennsylvania and do this in New York.
I take the gun, drive to Chicago, and then sell it to people in the street.
Yep.
Double the price.
Right?
It's a flip.
And you're like, what would a gun registry do? Every time I bought that gun, it would be a record of who bought that gun. So when I go to sell that in Chicago and they're trying to trace the gun, they're like, where did this gun come from? Oh, Danny's been running guns from Indiana into Chicago.
Yep.
That would literally decrease the number of illegal guns in the street. But you're like, why would anyone be opposed to decrease the number of illegal guns? Whether a gun is illegal or legal, it's still a sale, right?
Yep.
If you're a gun manufacturer, why do you care either way?
Why do you give a fuck? And that is the
why do you care either way?
And that is the issue we have right now.
So
the fact that these motherfuckers don't even care that you're selling it. You're literally selling lethal weapons,
but it's
and
the
not
people
giving a flying fuck about where they go.
No, but it's the people you don't care about. The majority of gun deaths happen to people of color in urban areas. The majority of NRA owners are rural white people.
Oh, shit.
Why do you care?
What was
I'm making profit off of the death of people I don't care about.
What was the saying that the NRA said that that obviously a man with a good gun will stop the situation?
A good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun every time.
Yeah, where was this guy at the festival?
Word.
So, just a good point. So, some of the country music is known for being Republican. I'm sorry, that's true. Some of the performers that were actually at the festivals had guns on them. Yeah, right? Legally, because it's Nevada. You can walk down the street with an AK-47, not breaking the law. Anyway, so they said, people ask like, why didn't you grab your guns? He said, we actually thought about grabbing our guns. But there's some guy shooting into a crowd. How the fuck am I supposed to? I'm not having guns.
A pistol versus an AR is two different things.
No. But think about it this way: if there's a mass shooting happening, literally no one knows what's happening.
They can't figure out.
And then a bunch of guys show up with guns to defend themselves. How do you know they're not the shooters?
Exactly.
You don't. So they're like in that moment, like how is us getting guns helping? Like first of all, I don't know where to shoot. Secondly, us having guns doesn't make it easier for the police to know what the hell's happening in the moment.
Right.
You could have got shot in the melee
as well.
Yeah, and
what floor was he shooting?
30th.
Yeah, I would say 28. And he was in a resort. Like, first of all, the space was huge. It was as if he was shooting into a fucking barrel of fish. That's what it looked like. He was in the fucking Mandalay. The Mandalay is huge, fucking mungous. How did he get that fucking window? He broke the window?
Oh, the windows actually don't open. He shot through it. He shattered
That's the thing.
The windows don't open.
So,
he shattered it.
So, a quick fact, people stopped opening windows in hotels because people go to hotels to kill themselves. Yeah. So, a lot of people, like, all over the US.
And hotels don't want that stigma with them.
No, they don't. So, they just stopped making windows that open, and if they do open, it's very little. He shot it out the window.
He shot out the window.
Yeah. And it's a festival, no one heard it.
The crazy part is, after this shooting again, we're not talking about guns, we're not talking about, his white male anger. We're talking about, maybe we should think about hotel security. I'm like, what would hotel security would have done? What law did he break? All the guns were legal. He bought the room, paid for it fully. Up until he started shooting, he didn't break any law. So what exactly would security... This is how crazy gun conversations in America have gotten. Oh, and by the way, when I said the NRA represents gun manufacturers versus gun owners, I'm not joking or using hyperbole because this week, there's actually a law that was supposed to come to a vote. The law would have made silencers legal. Yeah. And hold up, it gets even better. Deregulated armor-piercing rounds, like those type of bullets that go through body armor. So, if you're a police officer, FYI,
you just basically said "fuck your life." You just said
and the only reason, literally the only reason this law got stopped was because the fucking terrorist killed 59 people. That's the only reason this, and it's not even permanently. It's a temporary pause on the bill. It's going to come back to vote.
Vonna.
That's the world we live in.
Mind you me, within the next couple of months, they come out with armor-piercing, bulletproof vests. They find a way for some shit. Like,
see, here's the thing. It's like, you talk about trying to protect civilians, but then you want to make sure that the police are are protected if they get into some shit. But then on the same fucking time, you're allowing armor-piercing rounds to fucking pass, so we can now like that don't make like they just want us to off everybody. We want to just off ourselves. They literally just want everyone to off ourselves, so then the creme de la creme can exist and restart the race. That's what's gonna happen. That's what the fuck's gonna happen. They want the 1% to just start everyone over, but which bugs me out because half the 1% are dumb as fucking bricks. So good fucking luck doing that dumb shit.
Now the beautiful part is because I knew people who were gun nuts, who are NRA right-wing Republicans. And one of the things that I enjoy most about those conversations is that if you ever listen to those guys talk, what they talk about why they have guns is, this is true, this is not me making this up, is that we have guns to protect ourselves from the government. That's literally the argument they're making. So one day, if the military or the federal government turns on you, you have a gun so tyranny will be stopped. That is the argument they're making. This is the same crowd that makes the argument that you're disrespecting the flag if you kneel.
Hold on.
And then the Confederate flag is part of your history.
Hold on.
How do you disrespect the flag if you kneel if you're owning guns in anticipation of shooting U.S. personnel? That's your actual plan, your stated goal. But, oh my God.
First of all,
stupid.
If you're black, you're disrespecting your nation.
I don't
Honestly.
know, existence is disrespectful.
There you go. Oh, okay, so
It's crazy, right? When you think about all this stuff.
So I want to share that story I shared with you guys earlier on the air. So today I returned back to work from vacation, and the craziest day, and I actually got into it with the Army soldier. I normally have respect for military only because my dad's a Marine. You know what I'm saying? He'll double dog. He'll do all that stuff. Anyway, so what ended up happening was Army soldier came in. He came to use mass transit for free.
A vet. You have to say a vet. He's a vet?
He's still a soldier. He's still
currently active? Okay.
Yeah. So he came in and he wanted to use mass transit for free. Now here's the thing. You can use mass transit for free if you show ID and you are in uniform. That's all. That's all you have to do. Police, they get it. Whatever. So I ask him for the ID. He shows me the ID. And then I look at him like, well, you're not in uniform, so I can't let you go. And he, of course, goes, what do you mean? I fought for this country. I fought in a war for you guys. You should be more grateful. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, okay, well, we have rules, and those are one of the rules you should know about. And he's like, I don't get it. Especially you. You should be more grateful. It just went from MTA being grateful to the black man right now in front of him that should be more grateful. So, of course, because I'm, somewhat educated, I decided that I'm not going to let that slide, and I decided to proceed to tell him this. Like, you know what? I totally understand where you're coming from. However, you should be more grateful that my grandfathers have fought in 3 wars, so that way you can tell me that in English. We fought in World War I, where 370,000 people definitely registered to fight, African Americans. We fought in World War II, 2.5 million. 1 million of them were in the combat area because we were getting shot at and used kind of cannon fodder. But let's not go into that. Right. And then, of course, in Vietnam, of course, hey, you know what? Let's not even go into Vietnam. We all know what happens, right? 1964, we got our rights. So for 2.5 wars at least, we went to fight for this country, but still came back as a nigga. We went out as soldiers, but came back as a nigga. You should be more grateful that you can talk in English because we helped you win the war. That you can tell me that I should be grateful. Right. So I just want to throw that out there. As you should. Thank you. He, of course, wanted my badge number to talk to me. I'm like, that's great. You can tell your people I schooled you on your own history that you should know about.
Seriously. That, you know what's really fucked up? There's just so many, levels to ignorance in this country. Like, the fact that we can all be minorities and there's certain things I don't know about, Guyanese culture or Haitian culture, but having that conversation is not uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
But trying to have a conversation with Anglo-Saxon
a Yui
is very...
Yuis. We call them Yuis now.
Yuis?
Yes, a person of European ancestry was too long, so we just said Yui.
Yuis. We call Yuis now. Hashtag Yui. This is Yui.com. Ladies and gentlemen, please go forward. This is so Yui. Hashtag.
Yeah, I've been blessed.
Peak Yui.
Oh shit. So trying to have a conversation like this with Yui,
Yeah.
is difficult because they're like, that didn't happen. And then it's like, the truth that you lived versus the truth that I lived they run congruent, but they have very different points and peaks.
Fuck that shit. We got receipts.
And that's the thing. And then that's what I like to do.
They got OJ. We got receipts. And they got OJ. That's what they always bring up. Remember OJ? That's one thing.
Actually, I have one of my coworkers is Australian, and I tell her to listen to my podcast. I'm like, it's like, it's a lot of we talk about a lot of minority issues. So if you hear language, like, don't be offended because like we're like physically upset about shit. And she asks me questions because she really doesn't. She knows about very like surface level American culture, but she'll ask. She's like, what? So why is like this? And we'll like while we're working, we'll have these discussions. And she's definitely she's definitely like an ally, but she's also very much new to it. So she's like,
no, definitely, I get that.
It's so many levels of just stupidity.
Yeah, shout out to our Australian listener. Because I got some questions about Australia. Y'all got some stuff in your past. I got some questions about.
And she's actually
to the Aborigines. Hey,
yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, no.
First time I heard that word, it was crazy.
She's spoken about that with me too. So like, it's just interesting because I really think if more people were willing to know the truth or were willing to just stop perpetuating the bullshit, we'd be on a somewhat similar level of awareness with things, because half the reasons why we're having problems now in 2017 is because shit hasn't been resolved ever. Every time there's an issue of like a preposterous level, it's just a sweep job. Let's just sweep the sand over it and you won't see it. It's nothing ever really gets fucking addressed and handled the right way.
The reason why I feel that way, I just want to add on, because it takes so long to actually get to the problem. It's too many what ifs and this and that, and then when we actually come to solve it, it's like everybody's like, all right, we'll just do this. It's a patch job because, let's take it out of race context in a sense. Global warming is still a thing.
No.
It is October. And it's 70 degrees.
No, fucking 70. It's like it was 82.
Okay, yeah.
I don't even need to use the weather. Like beyond that, like Puerto Rico.
Okay, Puerto Rico.
Category 5.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing about global warming again?
Thoughts and prayers.
Isn't? Thoughts and prayers. I mean, Obama's having a convention, right? But besides that, what are we doing? This is a real thing. This is logistic. By the time you're hearing this being broadcasted, it's still happening. 70 degrees in New York. When's the last time we've had 70 degrees? I don't remember having 70 degrees in October in my lifetime. In my lifetime. Consistently, too.
When did the show Captain Planet air? Like 92? Like 92.
Yeah.
92? So global warming was a thing. It was a thing before 92, but they started to, give power to the children by telling them about global warming. And I don't know a fucking soul that says they did not like watching fucking Captain Planet. True or false? Everyone fucking loved watching Captain Planet. Why? Because it educated you. It helped you motivate yourself and your family to do more for the fucking environment. Meanwhile, the fucking generation before us was dicking around.
Once again, but millennials are the problem.
Right. But we get
shout out to Don Cheadle for his amazing Captain.
Yo, that was the shit.
Thank you. That was the shit.
That
was the shit.
Yes.
Captain Planet, motherfuckers.
When it comes to these big issues, I have two things. One is a little I'm not an optimist. That's not who I am as a person. But I am someone that
realist.
No, but I am someone that also knows that you don't have to be completely cynical to know that there's positive things still happening, right?
Yeah.
So there's two things when it comes to these big intractable issues that we're dealing with right now that seem unsolvable. Number one, oftentimes when we try to figure out logically why someone thinks these things that don't meld well consistently, you have to remember one thing. There's a thing called tribalism. When you pick your side and you root for it no matter what.
Yep.
If you internalize that, you will understand what's happening. I'll give you an example. There's on the show Samantha. I forgot there's a show Samantha Bee has on TBS. I forgot the full name of the show, but just Google Samantha Bee.
Right.
And
TBS.
She had one of her writers is Jewish, and he went down to hang out with his Jewish grandma in Florida. And her retirement community has been torn apart by political arguments between people that support 45 and people who don't, right? So in order to address it, Jared Kushner is his son-in-law. So in order...
What does that mean? Right, anyway.
Ben Carson, like these things happen. Anyway.
Sorry.
So the community was going to have a debate between someone who opposed 45 and someone who supported 45 and have it in like a civil way to sort of like get all that stuff out, right?
That's nice.
Here's where to remember the tribalism comes in. Because the guy that supported 45
had no facts.
No. The first thing he said is why he has issues with the left. He said, this is true. He said, because Donald Trump has never said anything disrespectful about Democrats, but they disrespect him all the time. So
what the fuck?
So the guy from Samantha Bee literally just read a quote of what Donald Trump said about a Democrat. And then what did the guy that supported 45 say?
No, he didn't. Shit. No, he said no, he didn't.
No, he said no. He's like, well, that's just true.
Oh,
that's what?
So he was mad at the left as being rude. The guy reads a comment where Donald Trump is being rude, and his first instinct is, well, that's just true. He's like, but you just say never say anything. I mean, that's different though.
No,
The issue is he's supporting his team. He's not doing the analysis of I'm actually offended by what's being said. It's this guy's I'm on this guy's team. So no matter what happens, like you attack me, I'm going to double down on my team, right? So that's important. Number one. Number two, the more hopeful part was a few years ago in California, or one of these states where they're going to have a vote about gay people getting rights. Mm-hmm. One of the ways activists got people to vote was they would literally just send gay folks out into the community and talk about the law.
Yep.
And then the strangest thing happened. The most anti-gay people were people that didn't know gay people.
Yep.
Never met a gay person in their entire life.
Based off of pure
So here's a guy talking to a gay person, just talking this vile bigotry, just this complete utter bullshit, having a conversation with the gay guy, and the gay guy is very calmly going, well, we're not gonna, no part of the bill talks about forcing children to be gay. And he's just like, no, I heard that. He's like, well, I have the bill here right now, you want to read it? And then they start talking, and literally by the end of the conversation, the guy goes, oh man, you seem pretty normal. It's just kind of like, no, that's important. Because the places that you find the highest rate of anti-immigration...
the ones that don't fucking have...
The places you find the highest rates of anti-blackness, places that you don't have it.
All these people that got 500,000 fucking channels in the fucking sticks, you better watch BET. For 2
they
seconds.
Are not watching BET.
I'm
not watching BET.
For 2 seconds. But you know what? A better way to get into that is watch Vice. Watch Vice. But I think what's crazy to me is this fucking stigma of the more rights I give you, the less I will have. What the fuck?
No, but that's a passive. No, that's not a passive. That is an acknowledgement of white. No, that's an acknowledgement of white supremacy. No, that's acknowledging white supremacy is a real thing. Because if in your mind, me having the same rights as you means you get less rights, that means you think I should have less rights. Exactly. Or that the current system as set up ensures that I have less rights. Right. So you can't argue white supremacy is not a real thing and then be like, but your rights are taking away my rights. Wait, what?
That's not how literally the word right means you have the right. There's no fucking inflection that says that means if I give you the right that I don't have it. This is not how that works. What the fuck is wrong with people?
I want to remind you guys, we'll take you back to a popular book by George Orwell called Animal Farm.
Yeah.
Oh, some pigs are more equal than others?
There you go. So
I love that line.
Yeah. So, speaking of PQEs, can we talk about Dove Visible Care? The Visible Care ad. Let me tell you.
Cake soap.
You are now entering our Black Focus Group update. Okay, so I saw this ad on Instagram, and I was like, "This has got to be some BS. I was like, this somebody made this, somebody's coming for Dove. And let me tell you about the rabbit hole I fell down into. The ad that I saw literally has a black woman
in a brown
and
shirt.
it's a 4-panel picture. Yep. All right, she's in a brown sweater or dress, whatever. She's a brown t-shirt, whatever. She's smiling at the camera. She's lifting her shirt. She's at the second panel. She's almost done with her shirt, and then the third panel, she's white. And then she takes off of it, she's still white. And I'm just like, nah. I went to Dove, and all these people are like, Dove, this is horrendous, blah, 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 blah. And it gets better. Because there's an actual visible care ad that they released where 3 women, black, Hispanic, and white, are standing at the before, right?
Yeah.
But the white person is more toward the after. So they're literally saying, and I had to read this, that if you use Dove soap, you will be considered from a black woman to a Latino woman to a white woman.
So what they were trying to do,
wow,
but they did it.
Well, yeah. What was their argument? Because
No. So the first one,
the first one was crazy,
some straight fuckery.
I couldn't find it. They pulled that ad.
That
They pulled that.
Oh,
ad
they didn't even
quick.
explain them. They're just like,
nope, quit.
whoopsie.
I could not find that ad anywhere.
That was some straight fuckery.
Because
that was that one.
I'll be real with you. I've never seen clear skin on anybody else on white. I'm sorry, I've personally never seen it.
But no. So,
but I don't understand how that works. Bleaching, maybe. God, I'm sorry, Vonna.
So the one with the 3 women and the before and after.
Right.
I saw the background pictures, and it was supposed to basically show that your skin is getting firmer and more moisturized. But like you said, the way they did that, it didn't. No. First of all, let me just say something.
Hold this L, though.
No. Listen. Let me.
This L's for you.
Let me just explain something to you. I would have been offended as a black girl if I knew that was how you was going to represent me, because let me tell you how black women are more moisturized than white. Just saying. I'm just saying. That is
I will attend.
The following
Because
opinions reflect Vonna Sage and
Mayhem Mike.
I'm just saying. I come into work and people always, Devonna, you smell so good. Devonna, you're so soft. Thank you. It's not hard work.
Keep your dryness away from me.
But yeah, like I saw that was like, did y'all really? And then the people that didn't understand why black women were upset, I was like, oh, let us dig deep into the doldrums that is the fuckery of why we are upset. Here is a picture for cake soap circa 1902. Bam. Two children, 1 white, 1 black, in a damn tub. Baby comes out after getting soaped up. Everything above his neck is black and below is white. Oh, that's not a problem. And then there's a little line of children standing outside waiting to get washed. Then not only that, like that's a big thing in Caribbean culture too, because Caribbean people
Latino,
believe
African,
the fuck
Asian
out. Oh my god!
West Indian, you're listening to this. Vibes Cartel. That's all I have to say.
All non-white.
Sammy Sosa.
Every single
They
part.
didn't even do it gracefully.
Every single part of the world that was not white and was touched by colonialism has that colorism in them.
Yep.
Period, point blank, period. Oh yeah, by the way, FYI, you have the freedom to use cake soap if you want to. You know, that's your God-given right as a person existing in this world, but I hate you. I hate everything you stand for. You're a disgrace. You disgust me. You make me sick. I don't give a damn if you're offended. I'll tell that to your face. I'll tweet it to you. I'll write it in your comments. I'll send you a shirt with that shit on it. It disgusts me. And by the way, does Dove make cake soap in other countries? Is this why they thought this ad was popular? Because I'm trying to think right now. Because I'm like, does Dove make cake soap?
Dove is owned by Unilever. So you
does
should probably,
Unilever make
so we
cake
have to
soap?
probably look into that.
Ooh.
Because Unilever, you know what else they make? You know, there's the chocolate called Dove, and that's owned by Unilever too. So we should probably look into that. But I have another focus group update for you.
There's another one.
Oh yeah, this one's for makeup. So it wasn't on your radar. So there's a very popular brand that I love using them. It's called Anastasia Beverly Hills, and she started her claim to fame was like eyebrow stuff. So she got really big into eyebrows. I have a few of her products in my house. And she started like expanding her empire on other cosmetics. Fine. Recently, she had swatches up for her new lipstick line, and it was evident that the swatches were for three to four different types of skin tones on women, and the swatch that was on the darker skin girl, did not look anything like the one that was on the other 2 to 3 women.
What do you mean?
So a swatch is basically, so what happens is what companies are, and I'm not the biggest Rihanna fan.
Oh,
shut up.
I think I've seen it.
Not the biggest Rihanna fan, but her doing Fenty Beauty totally just upped everyone's fucking ante on inclusion. Because now everyone's going batshit crazy.
You mean to tell me people of color use makeup and have money to spend?
We spend billions
Charles,
of dollars.
did you know this, Charles?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah, you're married to that negress.
Jesus Christ.
Do you guys watch I'm Not...
No, we're not getting off topic. I'm not getting my story. Damn
Sorry,
it.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Jesus.
We apologize.
So a swatch, because I have to explain this for the guys. They don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I
So
really
a
don't.
swatch
I
is...
saw it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. But go ahead.
Yeah.
A swatch
A
is...
swatch is when you take different colors of a lipstick line and you compare it to different skin tones. So what women do, especially on YouTube, when they want to try something out, they'll buy 3 or 4 of the same product in different colors and they'll swatch them across their arm.
I've seen that.
That's what a swatch is.
Okay.
So, but in this ad, it was like, oh, that looks like the color. That looks like the color. That is not the color. And people were like, all right, Anastasia Beverly Hills, what the fuck's going on? Like, and there's a lot of women of color use her products because her eyebrow shit is the shit. Like, so a lot of people were like, nope, we're gonna return this. Nope. But they actually came out and they said that their social media so-and-so did the wrong thing because it looks like so far beyond the right color that people were like, there's no way that this is right. So they took it down. They apologized. They didn't backtrack. They was like, that was a total fuck up on ours because we use this model a lot. She's gorgeous. We love her. This was an accident, and they confused the picture swatches with some of the actual colors of the lipstick, which is okay. I'd rather you say that because you basically admitted to you fucking up.
Yeah,
that's a clear admission of guilt. I'm okay with that. But the fuck Dove did? This is not the first time they've done this either.
So, you know what? I'm just going to say this really quickly. So when we became 2/3 of a person, not an actual person, they started actually releasing commercials saying we're a new and open market because we can work and there's a lot more money. I think it was like $25 billion at the time. Don't quote me at that at the time of the commercials. So when Fenty released, shout out to you, Riri, for doing your thing. So when Fenty released, everybody's like, "Oh, we got to get to this market." This market has always been open. I've
facts upon facts.
This
upon
market
facts
has been open, and I've been.
See, here's the thing: the market. So I don't know what it is, but
racism.
Well, I guess that's what it is.
Racism.
It's racism, but it's not even just. It's not even
seriously.
racism.
No, it's racism.
No. Look, here's why.
Because
at the end of the day,
let's think that black women are gonna wear makeup or
why
wear
would they
makeup
think that?
Because they're stupid.
No.
Racist.
No. Here's why.
Racist.
They don't want to fucking pedal to the black dollar.
The thing about the Fenty Beauty line is that it's not just that she released swatches for black folks. It's for like Indian folks, Native American.
No,
like
she has 40 different. You know,
I get it. I'm saying
different shades. That's
all
a fucking
of these
big
color
deal.
spectrums have been buying makeup for years.
Yep.
They've been ignored
Yep.
because when you have consumer testing and products, you're only gearing towards the majority of the market,
Yep.
which is white people.
There you
right?
go.
But here's the thing, though. Which is these companies are international, they're being forced to cater to people who aren't white because the majority of the world isn't white.
You mean Yui?
Well, shout out to this other company. I would love
Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah released her own. Just want to throw that out there. Here's hoping it passes. Hooray! Hooray! Why'd you look at me like that? We can't support Queen Latifah?
Shout out to this company called. Shout out to this company called Black Up, which is a European started company, and it's specifically for women of color. Their shit is awesome. That's what I wanted to say. I don't know where the fuck you came with that Queen Latifah shit. I do like Queen Latifah though.
No, apparently not.
It was all sorts of hostility.
You could have been like, I'll look into it. Nah.
I don't know what the fuck you were talking. What did you say?
She's actually released her own makeup line as well.
Oh, you know how long ago she did that? 10 years ago.
You know what?
She re-released it again.
She didn't have to re-release shit. The shit's been out for 10 years.
Oh, well,
it's called Queen.
After Fenty Beauty.
You're late.
Maybe, but it's not making the radar.
After Fenty
You don't
Beauty
wear
dropped.
makeup.
But I shop with female friends that do, and they don't go to her. Ooh, that's bad. We're gonna have to go to that.
Anyway.
My female friends don't. Maybe she don't make the right shades. But go ahead.
I'll say after Fenty Beauty Drop. I remember because Kylie Jenner also makes a grip off of makeup.
This bitch.
My bad, queen.
Her black friend still got being featured in ads more. I was just like,
Yep.
that is super convenient, Kylie.
Let me tell you something.
I am mad at you, also Kris Jenner,
The
but
Kardashians,
sideways stare, Kevin Hart stare.
they
Somebody go look at this.
like the fact. I don't know. I don't want to talk about them because they just.
I know you and your issues with the Kardashians. Listen, we get it.
So we're gonna end this update by saying, Dove, hold this L. See the
Facts.
the first ad where you just pulled and didn't say anything lets us know how racist you are. Thank you. I will no
No,
longer.
you know what? No, it's not racism. But honestly, the problem is they don't have enough women of color on.
Why?
What?
There you go. Because I was waiting for her to finish. Why not?
Honestly,
it's not like this market just appeared.
I don't like Dove stuff because it doesn't. I don't. Honestly, there's probably not enough people that a lot of black people. I don't know. Do you use Dove? Do
You know
y'all
what?
use Dove?
You know what?
I use soap. I
I'm
don't know
going back
what
to
fucking
coconut
name is.
oil. I'm going back to coconut oil for everything.
I don't know
Not
what
for
the
nothing.
name is.
I'm not saying this is not their fault, but I'm saying a lot. Some people that try to be inclusive fuck up. Like that whole thing with Shea Moisture did for 2 seconds, and it was like a problem that she's African. Okay, so it's one of those things. It's like we're trying to be inclusive, but it's like you neglect.
No, I'm not taking that because I feel like no.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. What
Okay.
I'm saying is half the issue is they probably don't have enough people of color that actually go to them saying, you know, I love your products.
Wait, wasn't
Let me work for you.
Wasn't Dove for Men the one that
I
had
tried.
the ad campaign where the guy
they
ripped off?
apologized for it 24 minutes ago.
Oh shit.
Wait, wasn't
Dove apologizes for ad. We missed the mark representing black women.
Dove the company that also had the ad where the guy had the severed head because he had nappy hair in his hand? Was that the same company?
Oh, I don't remember that one.
There was an ad for like a men's hair care product.
I think it was Dove.
In which they were showing how good the hair care product was, and then they had like one guy who had dreads previously used the hair care product. Now he looks presentable,
Yeah.
and now he has a severed dread head in his hand to show like I have upgraded.
Right.
So let me tell you something.
I don't know if that's Dove, but if that's you, y'all kind of have a history doing this shit at this point.
I think
can't-
Unilever is a European company.
Should we give him a Pepsi? I feel like we need to give him a Pepsi.
Yes.
Yo, someone get Kendall Jenner on the phone. Unilever needs a Pepsi.
So I was trying to figure out when Dove the brand was initially created.
It's wild. It was a long time ago.
And that's what I was trying to get
Time
at.
ago.
You mean to tell me, let's just say they were started in the 1900s. Let's just say, I'm just throwing out there. For 100 plus years, you never thought there are black women, there are other European women, there are women internationally that we can make our products for?
They don't think about product. They think about profit.
Where does it come from? It comes from the products that they're making. Why aren't they making... Think about it. Okay.
They don't give
Mayhem.
They don't give a fuck about certain groups. They don't.
Why?
That shit, let me tell
Why
you
don't they
something.
give a fuck?
You know what?
Racist.
Wait, I got to
Racist for 500.
You know what's funny? I laugh because the people that use... It's so racist. This shit's going to sound crazy. People that use Dove don't use lotion.
Oh, we need, you know what? And probably not wash rags.
No wash rag.
All right,
Yo,
let me shut up. That was what?
let's not go down this path. Let's not go down this.
Okay,
We're going the way.
wait to back out of this discussion.
We're going the way of the Yui. Okay. So
We are failing this discussion.
speaking of billing, I want to take the time out to address something that's come up, which is so unnatural. But if we think about it, it kind of goes back to not being tribalist or just kind of going against the norm of what you're taught against, which is parents kissing their children, infants, on the lips.
Oh,
That's a hard transition.
Yep. Yep. To the right. To the right.
Skirt.
So I had a conversation because somebody put up on a post that, you know, he's against stuff like that, especially when a father kisses his daughter, because, you know, when it's men doing something, it's always perverted. Women generally tend to get away with it. Later on that week, ironic, generally, not all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a woman privilege, but whatever. Generally later on that week, there was a video released where this young kid, who must have been like 3-4 years old, maybe 5, dancing with this older woman, and he's whining his waist, a little juking, and she's like dancing with him. And I'm like, look at this stuff right here. Like, first of all, no grown woman's gonna be dancing on my son. So I wanted to take the time out to address the kissing thing. See, kissing your child is a problem. let me tell you how much of a problem it is. So a couple of years ago, I actually dated this girl who actually became a victim of herpes simplex because her uncle kissed her on the lips.
Oh, nigga, listen.
However, she's not the only person that suffers from that. Wow. So we just read some stuff. Sorry. So like that's not the first time that's happened. Like I know some people who have caught it because their parents or their family members have kissed them on the lips. First of all, let me tell you something. You might be listening and thinking, "Yo, Mayhem, you wilding right now." Me kissing my child on the lips is acceptable. It's a show of affection. Kids, black children especially, need affection. Name a country where kissing somebody on the lips is a show of affection and not intimacy.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. There's no country that I know of.
But I don't know of a rebuttal to that because I don't know what it looks like in another country to other people because their cultural differences might vary. So for me, it's a case by case, family by family thing. I can't remember the last time I kissed my mother on the lips. It's been years.
And that's great. I understand culture is different. I tried looking up. I couldn't find it. If anybody has it, send it to me. Definitely.
Let me tell you something.
There's so much things wrong with it. I haven't even gone into hygienically what's wrong with it.
No, that's the shit I'm about to get into. Because that shit just made me mad. Because I know a lot of people's like, you better not kiss my baby.
What?
First of all,
yeah, talk it.
If it ain't your baby, don't put your fucking lips on their lips. You're nasty. I don't know what the fuck.
How many of us have heard our black mothers say, "Don't kiss that child on the cheek, much less don't put your hands on my child." Like, your hands, not your mouth, your hands.
Listen, if I ever come up like. Even with my own god baby, like I would ask, I'm like, yo, do you mind? Like, there's certain things, just out of respect, it's like, yo, do you mind if I? No, go ahead, that shit, okay. And I love my godson to death, but there's just certain shit, like I'm like, nope, I'm not doing, and I don't want him to get comfortable with like other people. And that's like you said, the president is like, oh, okay, and if you don't have he's what? JoJo just turned two, and. If you don't set a precedent with certain children, like you can't be affectionate with everybody, that is a slippery slope.
That opens up.
That is a very slippery slope.
You hitting all the points I was. Yeah,
so we're talking about people that ain't related to this kid. Like it's not your son.
Well, no, we started. It's like family. So like familial wise.
Hell no.
Right.
If it ain't your son or your girlfriend, fuck out of here.
Right, because it's a show. First of all, it's a show of intimacy.
It's a show.
It's not a show of affection. I'm sorry. I know we take it as such, but think how important kissing becomes to you growing up. Later on in the years.
What age should it stop?
Well, it should never. If it starts at all, right then and there. That's when it stops. Right then and there.
I find it a little weird.
It is weird.
It's super weird.
So okay,
you know what? You know what's crazy?
They kiss on the cheek. If anything,
I think in the last 20 to 30 years, the attitude towards it has changed. Because I definitely have seen lots of different pictures of like parents kissing their kids, and it's like the cute like pucker, like and it's like, oh, that's cute. But it's like, I don't know. I'm not that upset about it because at the end of the day, I know I'm not. After like 2, I'm probably not gonna do it no more. Because what kids do, they're used to it. So they're gonna come up to you and be like, "Yo, my brother used to try to eat my whole nose.
Yeah,
when he was a baby. Yeah. I'm like, no, But he was used to trying to give me a kiss on my lips. I'm like, no, you can't do that. Like, okay, you give Yaya a kiss on the cheek. And I'm like, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It took a little bit for him to get used to that.
Let me tell you
But he still look, my whole fucking cheek could be wet. Whole cheek.
Let me tell you something besides Vonna's cute brother, all right? If you are kissing your child on the lips, please stop.
Please do.
Because
if you sucking dick and kissing lips, you need to stop.
Oh my gosh! She said it. I did it. Hey, but you know what? Also the reverse. Also, if you're eating the fish out, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
It's a self-cleaning thing.
Oh my God,
Bacteria.
That shit in unison though.
Yo,
we're having such a cordial ass conversation. You just came out here. Fuck that.
It took too long to get there. I was like, you gonna say that shit eventually.
I was okay. So mentally, it's messing them up. You're training them for something further down the line
to be more intimate at an earlier age. With
and that's not
strangers.
the case. We don't want that. Listen, my nephew just started out pulling out his wee-wee in class. I had to stop him right there. I was like, listen, boy, you can't do that. I don't know where you're getting this, but I'm gonna stop it now. You know what I'm saying? That's mentally.
Right.
All right. Next, I'm about to play house.
Physically.
I'm home.
This is why we can't have nice things. Danny Ocean, DANYLTRON at Twitter.
I wouldn't even know, yo, this is where shout out to teachers who have to deal with shit like that. I wouldn't even know what to do if my man's like, I'm out. I'm not even, nope. All right. Somebody call security.
Hygienically, I want you to understand that however old you are, think about all the things that are brewing in your mouth that you're passing on to a child who may not necessarily have the natural defenses already. Okay? Once again, if you want to go extreme, there are people that I know in my life that have come to me because I posted this on my Snapchat that have told me, and people I found out from dating and other stuff that have told me I have received, in this case, herpes, not genital herpes because my uncle, because my grandma, because somebody kissed me on the lips when I was young. So I understand you, and when it comes to babies, people tend to have that naivety to it because it's like, oh, nobody would ever do anything bad to my baby. But wait, you won't show the kids photos until he's of a certain age, and culture has like red ribbons.
We also need to talk about personal space for little kids.
Yes, because not every kid's gonna want to have you in their space like that.
No, I know there's some
My sister
weird.
was giving us Heisman's after a while, even for kids.
Right. There's some weird assumption because this little kid that they have to hug somebody. Like, if the kid don't want to hug you, first of all.
I have a good example of that.
By the way, I was one of those kids. Like, I don't know you.
I can see that. You're like that now.
Yeah, but if people try to do that anyway, I was just like, y'all really got me fucked up.
Jeez, the book of Vonna today is strong.
Hit it with that mad hand. What's up, y'all? Got me fucked up. What are y'all doing?
So
I'm tiny, but I'm quick. Get out.
There's a family friend. She has a daughter, and she's they're not that strict, but she's very aware of like the daughter's comfortability. Is that a word? Comfortability?
Yeah, comfort.
Comfort. Thank you. I totally just made up that word.
Comfortableness.
Sorry.
Whatever.
She's aware of her child's comfort, so that's a big thing for them. Like they don't force her to be affectionate to certain people. I've known this child since she was pretty much born.
Yeah.
I think I've hugged her once. And she's what, 6, 7? And I'm okay with that. I say hi. I talk to her. But I'm not, especially as another female, knowing what it's like and growing up in the age of like, oh, go say hi, go give hug. I don't want to fucking hug everybody. That shit sucks. And I remember I had a kid, I was like, Mom, I don't want to hug so and so. And she'd be like, well, wow. I'm like, I just feel weird.
Yeah, there's some relatives.
Right. And then after that, she was like, you know what? I apologize, and it stopped. But like some kids don't always have the power because then you go to the culture and it's like, don't be disrespectful. And I think that shit blows my. Diddy, I keep
Listen, I'm not a little kid. I guess I'll be rude then.
My little sister was one of those kids who was very sensitive. Like her cheeks would get sensitive. My mom was like, you better not touch my kid because if she breaks out, I'm coming for that ass. So parents, stop kissing your kids on the lips. It's not right. It's just not right.
I want to say one thing to that. I mean, people are going to each to their own, but like, just if you're going to do that, just straight parents. Nobody else, please.
I agree.
So like, let's
Yeah, you heard that word, man.
Alright, yo, people just out here pulling up.
No, because
Yo, Vonna and Juice today just like jumping out the side of the car, like trying to have a conversation. Brace yourself.
pew 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 pew.
Don't just no dick playing and kisses. Don't do it. That shit's just nasty.
Oh god,
yeah, nasty.
I guess we should talk about that update.
The Black Nerd update.
Yeah. Stuff. You see.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
I want to talk about the NFL stuff real quick. First of all, my first thing, I want to talk to the Associated Press. You ho. Okay, let me calm down for a second.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I saw a story this morning that troubled me. ESPN had been repeating a story that was repeated on CBS News and posted by the Associated Press that Colin Kaepernick, who's still looking for an NFL job, by the way, Tennessee Titans, y'all trash. Y'all signing people out of retirement before. Anyway.
Wait, what?
They signing people out of retirement before they give this man a shot. And so, anyway.
Listen.
The report was that Colin Kaepernick had told interested teams which are none, let's be frank about this, that if he had signed with them, that he would no longer take the knee. That shit hit me in my soul like, nigga, no! Don't do it. I know this is your job, but you can't do this. You can't. This is like, somebody on Twitter said, this is like that scene in Roots when Kunta Kinte finally said, Toby, you can't go out like this, man.
Oh, shit.
But I was like, I know better. Because it's not that the media is fake. I'm not going to do that stupid ass shit that our president does. It's just that when you hear stories like this, you need the actual person in the story to comment for corroboration before you just buy it at face value.
Right.
So in this scenario, I was just like, if this is no small thing, he would probably release a statement or a video. It turns out the story was a lie.
Oh shit.
In fact, the reporter that claimed to have this didn't even ask him this question.
What?
Yes. This story got shared around the world, and the reporter doing the interview didn't even ask the question to begin with.
So
they just wanted to make him look like... Do I have to even answer that question?
Oh my... Another Ewing with alternative facts.
Just for the record, if you don't know Colin Kaepernick by this point, how the hell you listen to our show? Seriously, like, come on.
Bruh, how do you exist? Every episode, just saying. Oh my god.
He starred in the protest police brutality, in which he would sit for the national anthem. He spoke to a Marine, a vet that served, and said it was actually more respectful to kneel for the national anthem, and he kept doing that. It was over a season ago, and since that time, he has been unable to find a job after getting cut after his contract expired with the 49ers. And they've hired people who are just grossly underqualified compared to him.
Who have done crimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And didn't he take his team to the Super Bowl one year?
Yes, he did.
Right. The fuck y'all about, you bunch of... You know what? Let me stop.
So other people have joined in the protest.
Reload your clip first.
Anyway, everyone knows the whole backstory about what happened over the last couple of weeks. What folks don't know is that NFL ownership is actually starting to change the rules to prevent players from being able to take the knee anymore.
Oh, you mean taking away their civil liberties?
Well, you don't actually have that many civil liberties when it comes to being an employee of a private company. The laws change when it comes to you, especially when it comes to your First Amendment rights. That's not this. You don't have the same level of free speech. For example, like you're banned from taking a knee in the NBA.
Yeah, they did that shit real quick.
Yeah, you're not allowed to. But it's just so crazy that people are so dedicated to smearing a guy that over the last couple months has literally given $1 million to charity, raised food aid for Puerto Rico. And
he was just in Harlem this weekend.
Has run educational camps for kids to know their rights. And they're taking the word of a guy who dodged a draft. And by the way, this is the 1-year anniversary of, this isn't even me being vulgar, of when the President of the United States said, and I quote, grab her by the pussy. Yep. I move on her like a bitch. It's because I'm a celebrity that just do that. Or the fact that his wife testified on her oath that he raped her, but let's not get into that.
Right.
Those are just facts. Anyway.
But wait, a guy who peacefully protests, all he does...
Under the advice of actual active duty military.
All he does is take a knee. He's not telling people per se to like, hey, you, what are you doing? Come down here. He's just doing a peaceful protest. He's explaining himself, but he can't get a job. He's disrespecting the flag. And every time someone says disrespecting the flag, because I know active duty and ex-military who are big Colin Kaepernick fans, and it goes back to what we said earlier, the case about the veterans. I realize that they're only talking about white veterans. Of course.
Because every time I see a black veteran support Colin Kaepernick, there's literally no mention of it.
Nope.
The only time the people that get airtime are white veterans who express their anger. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be angry at that. That's your right to express that as well, right?
Yeah.
But your anger doesn't trump someone else's indifference. Like if one veteran is saying this is okay and the other one is saying this is not fine, like just because he says it's not fine doesn't make him the defining voice of this, right? There's more than one opinion in this scenario.
Right.
And why are you getting angry at his protest and what he's protesting?
Oh, because you're white, you feel...
But we're not going to go down this route again. We're not going to go down this route.
Remember, 2 world wars we fought and still came back as a nigga. Just want to say that.
2 Americas.
I want to talk about something a little bit lighter. Shout out to the New York Yankees. We out here. Y'all trash.
Now, fuck
I'm not even a baseball fan. I'm a Yankee fan. Fuck the Red Sox. Just FYI. Just putting that out there in the world.
I'm sorry. I'm going to let you know now. I clearly don't like anyone. I don't know how to fucking get some sponsors. Because I don't like, nope. Fuck the Yankees. I said it. I don't care.
So Yankees, when you invite
Yankees,
us,
all right.
when you invite us, I would like those seats and the comfortable windows that they have. You know what I'm saying? With the food. Vonna, don't worry, I'll tell you all about it while you're in the bleachers.
My black ass won't be there.
There you go. I'll text you, girl.
I cannot wait for the NBA season to start. It's going to be a ton of fun. There's a lot of different changes to teams. And also, I know the Knicks are going to be trash, but the people that they signed are crazy. Like, Michael Beasley talked about 10% of your brain, and if you use 11%, how you can control the world. That boy crazy.
Oh,
that boy all sorts of crazy.
Oh, so he watched too much Lucy, because that's what that sounds like.
Listen,
he watched
Michael
Beasley
is with. Listen, you don't need to watch sports to understand how entertaining this man is. This man also said, talent-wise, I'm on the same level as Kevin Durant and LeBron James.
Oh no!
I'm just like,
Oh my god.
yo, talent-wise, because your contract says differently. I don't understand.
People delude themselves.
Oh my god. Oh, sorry. I need to switch to something light for a second. We've been talking about some intense stuff. Just to get that out there. Yankees, fuck the Red Sox. Anyway.
Can I just talk about my Bruno Mars moment?
Oh yeah, you went to the concert.
So I went to the concert, Bruno Mars. Don't even look at me because this is before we even started the last stop on the album. My ticket's in April. There you go. Vonna the Sage here, coming for heads. Yeah. So
I made the look. I said all I need to say with the look. He said, "Calm down." I said, oh, "Okay."
So
no.
So I was invited, of course. Bruno Mars, if you haven't been to a concert, does really dope shows. I can't front. I really, you can tell he does dope shows. I've been to some concerts. I've been to Drake. I've been to Kanye. Kanye, for me, back when he was still black, did the best performance. Honestly, a concert. Was that before Superstorm Sandy, when Atlantic City.
No, it was after Superstorm.
It was after?
Yeah,
you're right. Actually, because we passed the beach.
Yeah, the beach was gone.
Yeah,
it was no, it was before Yeezus' Trash Fire. Yeah,
dumpster fire.
Yeah,
so he gave a great performance. He brought out some songs. I was like, yo, I didn't even know he was going.
It snowed inside the theater.
It snowed inside the theater. Drake brought out the O. He started interacting with the crowd. He was like, "Is that your girl?" Now you don't want to. He was going in. Drake was funny. But Janae Aiko, A$AP Ferg, A$AP Rocky.
By the way, Janae Aiko, even if you're not super close to the stage, in the distance, you just like, damn.
That little.
You're like Big Sean. You out here breaking up homes and marriages. I get it. You ain't right though, but I get it.
Gotta be petty. Alicia Keys did it. Oh!
What is with y'all today?
Nah.
The window is just not even wide down. Y'all just busted out the window.
First of all, in Alicia's defense,
hold that.
If the house was sturdy, she wouldn't have been able to break it. Shout out to Alicia because every year she just kept getting better and better. Remember them beach pictures? Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, Bruno Mars gives a dope show. From my high ass 500 section seats, not even nosebleeds, you know what I'm saying? What I saw, they had the big screen. He comes out, his crew is like really into the dances. The hooligans, you're right. They're really into like playing. He was like, even this stuff, he's like, see, the right side got what you wanted. You over there playing and shit because we didn't interact or make loud enough noise, but he like really grabs you in. And although I feel like he's a heartthrob, he kind of got me, son. He kind of got me out there. Kind of like what Prince did. Y'all know the Dave Chappelle skit I'm talking about. But, he sells the act too. At one point, he dedicates this song to his ex-girlfriend. And I swear to God, he cries. I don't know if he actually does cry, but I believe he cries. So he cries.
In trouble. That's why I can't go to the male. I can't. I got to see Miguel and I almost lost my damn life. Jesus.
Bruno Mars made me say Miguel who?
I saw Miguel.
No. They're
Miguel
different
live.
artists.
I didn't say they weren't. I just said who.
I've seen Miguel live.
I saw Miguel when he did his first album.
Peak Miguel.
AKA off the top ropes.
Anyway.
Oh, I love when they put the Jim Ross commentary underneath that shit. Oh my God! The humanity. The internet is undefeated.
I can't with
Oh my God!
I gotta watch it after this.
I've seen Miguel perform live. Mm-hmm. He's a cool performer. I don't know his music like that, but when he took the stage, I went deaf.
Miguel,
because them chicks.
That was me. First of all, when I got to see Miguel, it was when he relatively was still new, and it was at a Trey Songz concert, and it was Elle Varner.
She's cute. I mean, she's talented.
No, she is cute. You can say that. I'm okay with that.
Okay. She's cute.
It was Elle Varner who opened, then Miguel, and then Trey. Like, honestly, first of all, I'm a Trey Songz fan, but there were some stands out there. I was like, oh, so it was the funniest shit because it was at the Garden, and there was this white chick a few rows ahead of me. We were in the balcony section to the left of the stage. I'm jamming because I know everyone's music. So Gail came out, did an awesome thing. This girl did not move. Trey Songz came out. This chick stood up for his entire set, knew every word. I was like, oh, excuse this shit. I was like, the people were like literally at that was like, who's Elle Varner? Who's Miguel? I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm here for them and a little bit of Trey. But Miguel reminded me of a little bit of Prince, a little bit of Morris Day, a little bit of Michael, and a little bit of James Brown, all wrapped into one. And oh my God, Christian was like, "You're not allowed to watch this motherfucker no more." I was like, "Why are you gonna cut me out?" So yeah.
Shout out to you, Highbridge representative.
My baby was sick this weekend. He couldn't come.
Aw. Well, luckily, I didn't see any panties thrown at the Bruno Mars concert, but it was still great.
That didn't mean that it wasn't. Shut up, Vonna. Anyway. They FedExed him already.
I feel
people still do that shit, right?
I did not know.
Oh, that's still a thing. I don't know why, but it's still a thing.
Speaking of just like people like having a little bit of a groupie reaction, French Montana told an amazing story that had me in tears. This is he talked about how he was on stage during a show. It was him, Max B, and somebody else. And there was this girl in the front row.
Oh, boy.
And she just lifts her head up and opens her mouth. And he had a bottle of champagne. So she's like, I'm on my rock star shit. So I'm like, all right. So she starts pouring champagne into her mouth. Then this big brolic dude comes from behind her and shoves her out the way. And we're like, oh man, it's her boyfriend. So all my dudes on stage, we started like getting ready, like, yo, it's about to be a problem. Then he looks at us and he goes, and he's just like, all right. The wildest shit ever seen. He pushed his girl aside. Like,
it was Jinx. The other person was Jinx.
It was Jinx that Max B.
That's what we doing in 2017, guys.
Listen,
pushing chicks out the way for to say that's what we doing.
Listen, it's not just.
He said it's my birthday too. That's what he said. That's crazy.
Men's not hot.
Man's not hot.
Yo, Iceland Records. Iceland.
Did y'all see that? Yes. Did y'all see the interview he did where he answered some of the tweets about him?
No.
I cannot go into this.
I gotta watch it.
That'd be for another
day. I've been following him for a while. He has this entire series where he plays that rapper and he goes into different hoods. Watch that and not just like cry laughing because it's so fucking stupid.
But they were playing the song in Selfridges. Did you see that? Which is a really popular freaking department store. Why'd I gotta get that face though?
Because
listen, the fact that he did Fire in the fact that y'all understand, like, Fire in the Booth is the most popular freestyle show in the world. Like, Fire in the Booth, when you do a Fire in the Booth freestyle, that's BBC Radio. That's broadcast to every English-speaking country in the world. It goes on YouTube, and it averages, like, 5 million views per freestyle.
Oh, my God.
So, like, the fact that he got to play an ass on Fire in the Booth got so many real rappers tight right now. Like, how are we getting this shot?
Yo, and he's gonna be BT Cypher.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the BET Cypher.
He was on the BET Hip Hop Awards. They flew him out for the weekend. He living his best life. They mad as hell.
Anyway, let's get into something that I know a lot of women, especially women with men's and stuff. What?
Oh, the producer said we gotta cut it short. We gotta cut it short.
What you saying?
Yeah, you didn't.
Oh, I wasn't.
What you want to talk
You
about?
wasn't ready.
Oh my God, it was gonna be quick.
What you want to talk about?
How certain.
That's right, producer. Hold off.
Certain people can't wear gray sweatpants right now. sweatpants season. No.
No, because we'd already covered.
We already stuck your claim.
Did we?
Last episode.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna repeat this shit. You can't do that shit. Just so you know. Not allowed. They're forbidden. If I see you, I'm gonna rip the shits off. I'm gonna put some fucking track pants on you.
That's salt, just for the record. That's crap. But anyway.
This has been the last stop on the L. It's your boy Mayhem Mike wondering, Mr. Hybridge representative, how much gray stuff you got in your...
Too much.
Hide your sweats. And hide your socks. Yo, find me at YFR Mayhem on Twitter. You know, check out the Last Stop on the L Twitter page as well as the Instagram page. We love y'all, all that good stuff. Yeah. Don't support Dove. Fuck them niggas.
Oh.
Yuies.
Vonna's age here, trying to live my best life out here, and they fucking hating on me. Not on Twitter. I don't do that shit. But I'm on Instagram, though. Ew.
Hey, this is your boy Danny Ocean, DANNYOCION. I wanted to end on a positive note. Shout out to Fat Joe, Angie Martinez, Tidal, and Jay-Z for raising over 2 million pounds of supplies to send help to the island of Puerto Rico. And shout out to union truckers from around the United States who actually volunteered to go fly into Puerto Rico to deliver those supplies, because a lot of truckers in Puerto Rico are also been devastated by the hurricanes, so they've been unable to come to work, even though our president makes it seem like they're lazy. It's hard to, let's not get into that. I want to end on that positive note. Shout out to everybody raising money.
I can't talk about gray sweatpants. You know it's long as hell. I'm just saying.
I just want to say shout out to Remy Ma for carrying the team again now that she's out. Because Fat Joe ain't shit. They dropped an album together. Nobody heard about it because it's about Plato. See, you don't even know. Exactly. Shout out to Remy Ma. You doing your thing, girl. Keep at it. Maybe we'll hear about you next 5 years. My last time on the L.
Zagazao, zigazao, zagazao, anyhow, bad man now, zagazao, anyhow, be the man of my day now, zagazao, Neptune make number 1 tune, yeah, zagazao, zagazao, be the man of the girls, them sugar, the girls, them work class,
It's your boy Juice, aka The Juice is Loose. Studio 231 is located in the beautiful and trendy Lower East Side of Manhattan with studio rates and full studio setup. If you'd like to record with me at Studio 231, you can reach me at juice-cannon.com or Twitter at juicecannon.